Hey everyone, in today's video I'm going to go over why being constantly busy is killing your dental practice, your practice's growth, and your own financial growth. Basically why dentists or busy dentists make less. And here's the thing, most dentists are obsessed with being busy and constantly adding more to our plates, both like in the clinic and in our own personal lives. And we never step back to question it. We were taught that if you're busy, you must be doing something right in your life, right? From since we were kids. But that's only what I call half a truth. And it's one of the biggest beliefs that we hold that we need to break. But I'm going to touch on that later in the video. But here's what we typically do, right? And this might sound familiar to you. We work 4, 5, sometimes even 6 days a week tied to the chair. We have packed schedules, running room to room like a madman, constant decisions, putting out fires, leading our teams every single day, constant stimulation, right? And at the end of the day, you're just freaking exhausted. You get home and either you don't have the capacity to think about or literally do anything else, or that exhaustion affects your personal relationships or other aspects of your life. But hey, your mind feels productive, right? Well, that is quite honestly the most dangerous part. You feel stimulated. I mean, you're moving, you're getting things done. It feels okay in the moment. But here's why it's not okay. And here's why that is dangerous. It's dangerous because deep down, fundamentally, you're not growing and you're actually not improving for the most part. You're just busy. You're still helping people and you're making money. But don't get me wrong, but that is it. And I know this because I lived it as a dentist, and I'm still a dentist. The full schedule, but busy full, not impactful full. Long days, long weeks, tiring months. And I thought everything was fine. I thought that was normal, right? It seemed like everyone else was doing the same thing. So why wasn't it fine? Why wasn't it normal? But deep down, I knew something was off. And in the back of my mind, I thought, I can't see myself doing this for years and years and years for the rest of my life. For example, like when I was losing sleep or on the weekends, I was thinking about it. I was thinking about my life as a dentist. I was busy, yes, but I wasn't where I wanted to be. I wasn't really on a path of growth, and I knew that deep down. I just was getting better at tolerating my situation. I was getting better at tolerating stress, the busyness, right? So after I came to that realization, I had to do something right away. And I'm that type of person that if I see things in my life not going well, I immediately take action. I can't just sit there and continue to exist in that existence. It just drives me insane. So what did I do? I just immediately took action. I cut out clinical days. I pivoted my focus to being less busy and more impactful and intentional in all aspects of my dentistry. And what happened after that? Well, one, collections grew and my income grew. And for the patients watching this out there, my dentistry got better. Why? Because I wasn't drowning in surface level busyness for the sake of filling up my schedule with anything and everything that I could. And this is what this video is about. I want to get you out of the mindset that being busy is the only way you know how to work. But first, I'm going to go over why do we tend to think that? Like, why do we think being busy means that we're doing well in life? Well, one of the biggest reasons is because from the time we were kids, we all got the same message more or less, right? Be busy, do your work, stay occupied in whatever you're doing, fill your time with whatever you're doing. Busy means you're doing well in life, right? That's what we were taught. Busy equals successful or something along those lines. Then you get into dentistry and that belief comes with you. All of your ingrained childhood beliefs do, for that matter, in all aspects of life. 5 days a week is normal. It doesn't help that everyone else is working at least 5 days a week. Booked out schedules without analyzing what they're booked out for is pretty much encouraged or even celebrated, and being exhausted mentally and physically becomes a normality for 90% of us. It becomes part of your day-to-day, exactly what you expect the night before. You're just going to be busy the next day. And we never take a step back to look at everything from a bird's eye view. Or we do sometimes, but it just pretty much ends there, and we never take any action to our busyness. And you know one of the biggest reasons why? Because deep down, our subconscious actually enjoys it. That constant motion or stimulation of doing like 10 different tasks, dealing with this, doing that, believe it or not, it just gives you like that little bit of dopamine, and it makes your subconscious feel useful, like you're doing something meaningful. Even when you're actually not, even when you're just busy doing the most menial tasks, you feel useful, which is why the idea of doing less could lead to more growth feels so wrong on a subconscious level. You've literally been programmed against that belief and that logic. It's like counterintuitive to everything that you've been taught through your entire life since you were a kid, and from what everyone else in this world is doing. So to illustrate this further, I'm going to give you a completely non-dental example. I'm going to tell you a little story. Think about Tom Brady, right? The American football player. For the past 2 decades, he played at an elite level. He just won multiple championships, even into his like late 30s, early 40s. And guess what Brady did? He really wasn't known for doing more than everyone else as a quarterback, than every other quarterback. He wasn't chasing every training trend. He wasn't occupying his mind with like 10 different things. He wasn't constantly switching his focus or his coaches or his routines. He actually did fewer things than anyone else. Like, he had the same routines, the same preparation every single day, the same obsessive attention to his health and his game. While other players were distracted doing dozens of other things, he focused on the very few but high impact things. His entire life was organized around one thing: being great at throwing a football. And that is it. Just complete focus around football. And guess what? He was arguably the best quarterback in football history. He won multiple championships. He made a shit ton of money by keeping it simple and being the best at doing a few things and not everything. And us dentists, a majority of the time, we just do the complete opposite. The majority of us aren't lazy or unmotivated or anything like that. We're not the type to avoid work or just not work. Otherwise, I mean, we wouldn't be dentists. We wouldn't be where we are now. We're just being spread too thin. Our energy, our focus is just being spread too thin. Doing a little bit of everything, managing everything, putting our hands in everything. And when you do that, if you haven't already, you realize that it really doesn't amount to much. You're almost like the person that's like tracking 8 different metrics, 3 different diet plans, 2 wearables, and you're still not losing weight. You're working hard and staying busy, but you're just running in place, and that is it. Now listen, here's the concept that just changed everything for me. If you keep doing this, you are going to continuously run out of energy and attention. Your focus is going to become fragmented throughout the day when you're tied to the chair all day, putting out fires, reviewing endless KPIs, handling every single issue, doing this task or that task. You do not have any energy and attention left to step back, think clearly in order to improve your business, your practice, like simplifying systems for the better or improving certain processes or systems, or actually implementing those systems and leading. So then what happens? The practice stays the same. Busy, not really growing, and you're stressed almost every single day and every single week. So what do you need to do? You need to step outside. Just step outside of your business. When you're always doing everything or in that busyness state, you don't really notice what's going on with your patients in your practice in like a broader sense, in a broader view, or how communication is going, or what's going on with patient intake or follow-ups even happening, or where money is being lost, and so on. You're not working on the business. Like I said in the beginning, you're just working in the business. You're pretty much a glorified associate that's doing everything. And here's the thing. If you've heard of Pareto's principle or Pareto's rule, you're familiar with this already. But basically, 20% of what happens in a dental practice actually drives the growth of that dental practice. Things like phone intake, communication, case presentation, and verbiage, follow-up, financial conversations, maybe staff bonuses, incentives, and staff alignment. Everything else, I mean, it's important, of course, but not really driving growth. It's the remaining 80%. And when I reduced my clinical days, I had more time and mental capacity to focus on the 20%, like I said, that drives the growth and builds up the team. I didn't work harder or more as a dentist. In fact, I worked less clinically, and that allowed me to focus on phone call intake, communication, sales, follow-up systems, marketing, and much, much more without going insane, without affecting my home and family life, and most importantly, my health. Working less allowed me to focus on the few things that actually matter. And what happened after that? Year after year, with fewer clinical days, the practice just grew consistently. I mean, take a look at the numbers. I'm gonna pop them up somewhere over here. Take a look at the growth. Now, I wanna be very clear about something. Everyone wants time off. Everyone wants to work less. Everyone wants to make more money. The trifecta, I mean, who doesn't, right? But here's the thing. I don't take time off to escape my business. I take time off to improve it and work on it from like another angle. And that allows me and our team to have a better work experience during the week and to grow more. I also take at least 4 weeks off a year, typically 1 week a quarter. And the whole team takes 2 weeks off at the end of December to step back, relax, change our environment, and to create some perspective in my life and my businesses. When you step back, when done intentionally, you give yourself the capability or another perspective to look at your life through another lens, which you really can't do when you're constantly busy or reacting. It allows you just to come up with new ideas or better decisions. For example, this past year, during one of our weeks off, we decided we needed to change our monthly Thursday team meetings. Taking that time off allowed us to look at our meetings from another perspective, like I said, and analyze what we were actually doing, and most importantly, how can we change these meetings for the better? And if you're curious, by the way, what we implemented and how we changed our meetings, send me a DM on Instagram with the word meeting, and I'll send you exactly what we changed in that meeting flow. And speaking of time off, speaking of the weeks off, I want you to utilize the War Map. It's not mine. I didn't create this War Map, but if you want to be intentional about your time off and stepping back and planning your year, you need to use it. If you've made it this far in this video, you need to get intentional about this. If you don't put things down, whether like you physically write them down or you put them down on a calendar, you're not going to do them. And time off is just one of those things. In addition to implementing things, you're not going to do them. So yeah, send me a DM on Instagram if you want the War Map calendar, and if you're serious about stepping back and de-busying your life. It's probably not a word. But anyways, here's what I want you to sit with and how I want to end this video and what I'm going to leave you with. Doing less doesn't mean you're not doing anything or you're not doing much. Doing less allows you to focus on what matters, the 20%, and what actually moves the needle forward repeatedly. Stop being busy for the sake of being busy or because it's what everyone else is doing, because you're scared of not being busy or that it feels safe or productive in the back of your mind. Please rewire that belief. And like I said in the beginning, the most successful people aren't doing more than everyone else. The Tom Brady example. They're doing fewer things better, consistently, and for longer. And on top of doing fewer things, you need to take time off, at least like once a quarter. So I'm going to leave you with that, okay? If this resonated with you, let me know in the comments. Or if you have any questions, just DM me on Instagram. Until then, see you next week.